Say the least. Just weeks after signing Clive Allen from Queen's Park Rangers, Terry Neal swapped him for Crystal Palace's Kenny Sansom.
If I had £1 for every time I got asked that question, what happened with you and Clive Allen? I said, I don't really know. There's one rumour that I heard, that Terry Venables was at QPR and he had a fallout with Jim Gregory, who was the chairman of Queen's Park Rangers, and went to Crystal Palace. And Jim vowed never to sell a player from Queen's Park Rangers to Crystal Palace. So the deal went, instead of that, Clive went to Arsenal and boom. That's the only story, but you'll have to ask Terry Venables or Terry Neal, they might know the answer.
We didn't concoct anything, it was just straightforward. I had Sammy Nelson, who had been in trouble for quite a while with a bit of a knee injury, and Terry had been having one or two problems with Kenny, and I realised when we were completing the swap round, there would be a lot of questions, a lot of queries, but my only concern was for the welfare of Arsenal Football Club.
I phoned home to say I'd signed, and then my brother said, Bob Paisley, I think, was in charge of Liverpool at the time. He said, he's just phoned me, he wants to sign you. And I'd already signed for Arsenal. I made the right choice.
Sunderland again. Arsenal had 4 waiting for the cross. Flicked on by Rick. Sansom was right in there, and that was Gatting! And Arsenal go 2 in front. Eventually allowing for the conditions and also playing advantage. Intelligent bit of refereeing. Sunderland, and that's a beautiful goal for Talbot. 1-1. Davis played for Ricks. Good chance for Ricks. Talbot's gone right in the middle there. McDermott coming up far. Woodcock. Sunderland outside him. Woodcock and Robson advancing into that area. And Woodcock! What a brilliant goal! That's a Sims. And Woodcock getting it through there. Fabulous goal there! Laying it wide. Good period this for Arsenal. Sunderland. The ball broke for him nicely. Talbot trying to try again! 2-0. Talbot the second. 2 goals in a little over a couple of minutes. Have suddenly put Arsenal right in the game.
Centre there from Woodcock to Ricks. What a fine goal from Graham Ricks. That left foot so accurate.
There were still flashes of inspiration and some creditable finishes, but the pressure on Terry Neal to deliver trophies began to grow. His last throw of the dice was the signing of a maverick young striker from Celtic, Charlie Nicholas, Scotland's brightest young thing, but the burden of expectation simply proved too great.
I'd obviously rejected Liverpool, Manchester United and Inter Milan, and I thought the Arsenal had the basis of a team that was going to rebuild and get back to being one of the top clubs again, and that was the essence behind it for me. But they said that I was going to transform this club, which was doing nothing for 6-7 years, so it was difficult for me. But I was only 21, and here I was getting the burden of the pressure to say it's up to you to make Arsenal great again.
And a really big crowd here at Highbury today. I'm just wondering how many of them are drawn by the man wearing the number 10 shirt for Arsenal. Charlie Nicholas on the ball at the moment. With a nice back heel finding Kenny Sansom.
We knew Charlie's reputation in Scotland was, he scored from fantastic goals, could go past people. I think his nutmegging was second to none at the time. He would nutmeg most probably every player in training. And I think there was a lot of expected of Charlie.
Charlie came down with all this hullabaloo and a playboy image really, and he was a great lad. He added something to the dressing room, definitely. He was lively. He used to like a night out, a lot of young people do.
When I came to Arsenal I was 21, I was very single. It was also very lonely. Most of the players were married and it was hard work. There wasn't a particular social side to the club. I mean, I used to dread finishing training some days because I had a whole day to face and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And that becomes concerning when you're fairly young and lonely. You're searching for things to do, and it wasn't always easy.
Charlie's trouble in settling into new surroundings affected him on the pitch, and a meagre return of 2 goals in his first 17 games did little to lift the weight from Neal's shoulders. Nicholas's talent was undoubted, but demonstrating it was a different matter.
And the crowd were out there time after time chanting for Terry's head, and the players weren't particularly responding to Terry's style.
You live or die by results, and for a club like Arsenal, you You have to win trophies. You have to challenge for honours. So, all right, you can't always be, because someone has to come first and someone has to come last. But if you're not getting to cup finals, you're not challenging for the title. The board of directors and the fans, to a certain extent, obviously, looked at what is wrong, because we're a big club. We've got to be there.
In December 1983, Neil left Arsenal on amicable terms, but he remains passionate about the club he served with such distinction.
What makes Arsenal so special to me is not just the length of time that I've been there, but the people. You know, the old expression, once an Arsenal man, always an Arsenal man. And that is true for me.
Well, that was the time I stayed when I should have left. And I realised after that when the club decided that Terry should go, I really should have said, look, yeah, I'd love to be manager, but no, this is not the time. Whether there'd ever be the time, I don't know. Because I've been there for 8 years. The players had heard it all before. They'd seen it all before. Okay, they'd seen the board head before. Okay, they're not going to be stimulated by that anymore. That was the time I should have said, no, that's not one for me. Off I go somewhere else.
Don made an encouraging start, and as the 1984-85 season opened, Arsenal could boast a team full of internationals and household names who on their day were capable of beating anyone.
Liverpool have pulled everybody back, and Brian Talbot and Charlie Nicholas, either one of them might fancy their chances from this central position. Talbot! And again, Anderson's joined the attack outside of Kennedy. And he got there too, and Davis was up there. He's hoping to get a free kick there, but the advantage really is Anderson's.
Not everyone enjoyed Arsenal's style of play, though, and however unfair and inaccurate it might have been, Don's team was branded as boring.
Do you think, though,